right. Good evening, everybody. Let's do a brief audio and visual check. Can you guys hear and see me? Everything looks good. Sounds good. Go through and get a few things set up on my end, as always. Let's see. Audio, video is good. Things looking good. Always a great... it's always great. It's another great day. Great day to be alive and to trade. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. DBA, I get that question a lot. What is that? DBA is just my initials. I've been known it. It's just a nickname that some of my buddies, and it's caught on to some people, and so I'm just used to saying it. But as always, tonight we're going to go through our rapid markets, our rapid fire. We'll talk about Nasdaq, crude oil, Nikkei, and then we'll switch on to gold at 8 p.m. Central. And then after that, we are going to be talking more in depth about strategies. We've had some great power hours the past few days, and I've been getting a lot of questions on what were we looking for? Why did you look to get long this? Why were you doing that? So I think I'm going to go more in depth about strategies and more in depth about maybe the reversal, continuation, answer some questions, and then we'll do one or two statistics at the end. So, more of the strategy and questions, and then a little bit less of the statistics side. Next week, maybe we'll break it up and do, Mondays and Wednesdays we do statistics, Tuesdays and Thursdays we do more strategy, or find some type of a mix on that aspect, because you can only go over so many statistics and then it starts to get boring. It was fun at first. It's always great. It's always important. Everything is recorded, but let's get to it. In the YouTube chat, it is our Topstep risk disclosure. Now remember, guys, this is not a signals class. Everything we say on the YouTube is for education. We do put on trades. We do put on, examples. It's kind of like as an instructor, if you go through, or, as a kid or college student, when you go to class, the instructor has on the whiteboard and you guys are doing problems together. You follow along and you learn different ways. That was the point of it. Last night, we had the Nasdaq trade going, and it worked out really well. We'll talk about it more, or let's talk about it now. So if you guys remember, here is the Nasdaq. We're going to start on the daily chart and see what has happened, what has changed. We've had that huge sell. Oh, this is the hourly chart. We got to go to the daily. We had that huge sell-off yesterday to today. We basically recovered that. I was kind of looking for a breakout above 700. We never did get it. We pulled all the way back down towards the 400s. We broke 400s for a little bit, and now we are back holding into the 450s. We do have news tomorrow. There's always something that we're waiting on, whether it's data, whether it's someone talking, or some big release. Again, tomorrow, to be honest, the way that I'm looking at this market is, maybe we could get back up here. We had this pullback. To me, this is bullish, right? Very much. We had this huge rally back up towards 20,000. We've gotten some type of a pullback. This pullback as some area of support. We're finding some area of support. This is kind of starting to look like a fib level. Maybe we could. I don't typically use Fibonacci retracements, but maybe that's something to look at. Yeah, we went down to the 38, 0.382. We went about a third, right? I mean, that's pretty interesting as well. I don't usually use Fibonacci's, but that could be something that traders are looking at. And we failed to have any further continuation. Look, it was a positive day, regardless of what people are looking at in the market and that big sell-off, throughout the day, the second part of the day. It's still a bullish day, regardless of how you look at it. We sold off and we rallied back the very next day. So as we zoom into an hourly chart, you guys could kind of see that, right? This is an hourly chart. We had that huge run up, and guess what? 3-bar reversal on a 5-minute chart. What else? What else is there? I mean, this was a beautiful example. This was a support and resistance zone, and we had that 3-bar reversal on an hourly chart. This is what we were looking at last night. This is that one candlestick that we were watching and saying, there's a lot of people in here yelling, sell it, sell it, sell it. Everyone has their own strategy on what to do in the market, and that's what we was looking for. And guess what? We were looking to get in long overnight. Looking to get in long on the breakout, Our target was, it was kind of on the, I don't want to say shorter end, but we were getting in. You guys, you might have to remind me, but I think it was like actually, this might even be in the orders. We could look at the statistics later and see, but our target was 380s, right? It was 380s, I believe. And this was kind of the trade that we had set up last night. And, sure enough, we broke above and it was just straight up. I mean, that doesn't happen often, but look at this. Every single hour, it was just up and up and up all throughout the evening and into the London session. And then as soon as the New York session hit, it was just more, right? We came straight up to 700s, ran into this wall of resistance right here in the 680s, and then sold off. We sold off right back to this area. And so it was an interesting day for sure. We're starting to find support. We found some support there. And when we start to zoom in, you'll kind of see it, a lot more clearly. We found some support. This was a support level, it sure as heck held again. And we also found resistance, right? This was a resistance level, right? Basically right there, right? And so going into tonight, are we going to see the same thing? Maybe, right? Is everyone going to be saying, now we sell it, or are we still buying the dip? Well, this was one of the most bullish moves that we've seen for, quite a while. I mean, we had this one, which is very similar, but yeah, I think it's just wait to see what the market tells us. Very similar to last night. Very, very similar to last night. Maybe we look for the same thing. We have this candlestick that is an hourly bar, right? This is an hourly candlestick, just like last night, where maybe we see there's a lot of resistance here, and we could do something similar like last night. We put, a range and say, if we break below this, right? Or if we break above this, do we look for a continuation back up towards the 600s? Or if we break below this, we could see, a move back down towards 200s, maybe these lows. And so that's kind of where I'm looking at this. We do have the news tomorrow. What is it? PCE, whatever. And we're going to see a lot of volatility. It is Friday. That is also something, yeah, I think it's just like yesterday. It was just like yesterday, where do we see a break and a continuation back up towards at least maybe 600, or do we see a breakdown and go to some of these lows? Maybe we see 261. I'm not sure, but whatever it is, we're consolidating. We're in this zone. We're inside this candle, and as we start to zoom in on the 5-minute chart, you could see a lot more of that, right? So here's the 5-minute chart. During power hour, if you guys did miss it, rewatch it. It was another, I did have two great trades not last session, but during power hour today, a few hours ago, we had this huge sell-off. Okay, and this is something I want to go over a little bit later. We had this huge sell-off. We had a 3-bar reversal that ended up for a great 20-point trade. We sold off again. We got in. I was able to get in again around 370, I believe. I'll go through it. And power hour, we just smacked the 460 and went back down, consolidate. And now we're kind of inside this. It looks very much like last night's setup, right? This was last night's over here, where look, we had this candle, we sold off, we're kind of making a little kind of a rollover, and then we broke out and rallied. So it's kind of looking a little bit similar. We have a lot of resistance up in this area, in this zone, that we would need to get through and then break out. And then of course the first level that I see as resistance is going to be right here around 510s. Maybe we could even see, maybe we'll even see these 530s as resistance, and then further up, I'm of course we could go through and make all these support and resistance levels and where we could get to, but I think the overall idea is we're consolidating inside this really big range from 335 to 467, and it's just, do we stay it? Do we look to sell near these highs and make a move back down towards these mid 300s and look for a short? Or do we look for a buy and a breakout? Or do we wait for it to get down to these lower 350s and look for a reversal and a long? There's so many ways that we could look for it, right? I mean, here it is again. This was on the 28th, right, where we bounced, sold, and that was a nice play. And now here we are again, very similar situation where, do we do that? Do we have some nice range in this zone between now and tomorrow? Maybe the news is obviously going to have a big effect on it, but obviously, yeah, it's a much bigger range than last night, and so the stop would be a lot wider. And we'll go over more after the gold trade, or see if we can find the gold trade at 8 p.m. But I'm liking the longs. I still am. It's still bullish, right? This is where we were at last night. And essentially, we're 250 points higher than where we were last night. So we're bullish. We're still going up. Is this a buy the dip opportunity? If we start to rally again, and if we get back up here, then yeah, we're going to be saying, dang it, I wish I would have bought this dip. That was a buy the dip opportunity. Or if you guys are bearish and if you think we could have more downside, then is this a pullback and looking for a continuation back down towards these 200s, or maybe looking for 19,000? I'm on the bull side. I'm always looking to buy the market. I'm always looking at the bullish end. And depending on the condition, looking for these breakouts. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on crude oil. Crude oil, look at that move. We did get something similar. Let's start on the hourly chart for crude. That was it. It was buy the dip on crude. Unfortunately, I didn't have an order on crude oil. Last night, we were looking at this area to become support, right? Where we were saying, is this going to become support? And are we going to make a run up to $77 a barrel? Or maybe we can make that push up to 80, and this was a pullback, and I was looking to get this into a long position. That didn't happen. I didn't have an order on crude, but sure enough, it was. We had that huge rally from basically 74 up to, pretty close enough to 77. So a $3 rally, just really quick, and now we've pulled back a little bit. And so is this a situation where we could find an area to get in long? I'm looking from the long side still. Another rally. Here's a pullback. This was support, right? This is a nice area of support and resistance. Got to get this better. I'm going to fix this. There we go. So this is a very key area of support and resistance, right? This was support again. And I would like to see crude oil run some stops and then rally again. But crude oil has not been running stops lately, right? We didn't even run stops on this run. We didn't run stops down here. We didn't run stops. And so maybe it's not using buy limits. Maybe it's being safe and just getting in as we're starting to break out. For example, just like the Nasdaq we were looking at last night, maybe we put a buy stop up above the previous pivot, and we look for that breakout and try and catch a momentum trade like what happened overnight in crude. But bullish crude is the way that I'm seeing it from pure technicals. It's not a clear breakout, whether it's breaking above this pivot or this pivot, but there is a lot of bullish momentum in crude oil. Especially, we didn't sell off, right? If this was a great opportunity. If we was going to sell off, we didn't. We held it, and this is now putting in possibly a higher low. And so the next phase would be looking for a higher high. And so is the high going to be up here towards $80 a barrel? It's very realistic and it's very possible. One thing I'm actually looking at is, there's a lot of resistance here at these 78.5, 78. There's a lot of resistance in this zone. So maybe that is, if we do break up and we do rally, maybe that could be some nice targets if we get up towards 78.5 to $79 a barrel as some profits and profit targets in crude oil. On the downside, I'm not really seeing too much to the downside. If I was going to look for a bearish position, I would wait for us to break this. If we're going to go down, if you're looking for opportunities to sell off and test 71, I would personally I would be a breakout. I wouldn't be using a sell limit because oil could get very aggressive and very volatile to the long side. That's not saying we can't do it on the downside, but the way this is looking is just a higher low, and maybe looking for a higher high. But I would wait for us to break 74 and break this, and then look for possibility short opportunities to make a run back down to these, or at least a run down to $68 a barrel. So anyway, let's move on to the next. Getting through here pretty quick. There was another opportunity that just happened in Nikkei, right? We're talking about buying the dips on Nikkei. There's another example, right? This is the same thing I was talking about. I don't know if do I dare say that Nikkei's on easy mode. Each one of these sell-offs, if we did this last night, was that another opportunity? We got a nice, this is an hourly chart. We had a 3-bar reversal right there on the hourly chart. I don't know if I would have been able to take advantage of that, but yeah, maybe an average true move. Was that an average true move? We could go through and do that same thing we did last night if you guys were here, where we measured all these average moves to the downside, and then we kind of just got one, right? We just got one. And so does that mean we're going to make another run back up and test these 38,800s? The way the market's been, why not? That would make sense to me. I mean, this is, I don't want to say easy mode, but yeah, it's just been whenever we sell off, you buy it, and then you look for us to continue and test highs, right? Sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, buy low. And it's been doing that. Of course, it's not perfect, right? Nothing's perfect. But sure enough, we just did that again, where we sold off an average move, and, we could, as a reversal, right? And maybe even if we start to zoom in, I'm sure there's some type of a pattern that we might have been able to enter in. There it is, right? There's a double bottom and a breakout that happened right at the close. So I don't know if I would have been able to get into that. That's a little bit difficult. You're not able to trade until it opened up again. So there's a pullback, right? If we're talking about, also I had a Nikkei trade last night and it worked out. Remember that Nikkei trade last night, everybody, where I got in on the break of this, right? If you guys remember the Nikkei trade, I had my stop below there, and it ended up working out. It worked out really well last night. If you guys remember, I let that run. I fell asleep and I ended up closing. I don't know where I closed it, but it was a pretty good trade, right? And that was, there you go, very basic, simple technical analysis. We broke out. Unfortunately, it took forever during slow markets class, but we let the trade go. We broke out again, tested, and we ran. So here we are again. I mean, that was the nice resistance. That's interesting. We sold off right at that resistance, double bottom. We broke out, and very similar, right? We broke out, and we went down, we tested it, and now we're starting to rally again. The opportunity, I think, has already passed. The opportunity was to maybe buy down here if we could have, and then we break out and then buy this pullback around 38,300s, and maybe look for a move to come back up and test these highs. So that was, I'm not really seeing anything yet. It doesn't mean something can't change. We still have a long way to go in class. And so anyway, let's move on to gold. And remember, guys, if you do have questions, keep asking them. We have amazing moderators who's going to be able to send me those questions that I'll get to when I have a moment. Gold. Let's look at the hour on a gold chart, and more of the same, right? Where we're looking at bullish gold. Every single time we come down to this trend, we've been buying it up. It's looking like a very, very simple wedge pattern, however you want to draw this. And I think it's just more of that. Last night, where were we at last night? We had that breakout. We sold off. We sold off right down to this trend line and immediately rallied up to the 60s that we were looking at. And now we're going right back down. So maybe this is a situation where we look, it looks like gold's starting to sell off. Maybe we just look and wait for gold to come back down towards these 45s, and we look for some long opportunities around this area and around this zone, and see if we could have another rotation right back up to the 60s. That is something that I am probably more prone to just waiting and watching. Last night's gold trade was just so freaking boring. I did leave, if you guys know that, I left the gold trade on last night. This was where we were at last night. It was, where was it? I think we were right here, right? This is where we were last night. We did end up breaking out and going towards basically the 57, and then we sold off right back up, and now we're starting to sell off again. So I'm a little bit hesitant to buy it right here. We're kind of just right in the middle, right smack dab in the middle, right in the middle of this triangle, and that's probably better to just wait, and then we could have a better location if we do get down here, and we could limit our risk much easier, and then look for a play and a rally back from there. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, we don't want to diddle in the middle. Zooming into the 5-minute chart, we do have 8 minutes until the 8 p.m. Central. 8 p.m. Central, we do see a spike in volatility. Where were we at? This is where we were last night. If you guys remember, that's where we were. We got in a long position in here, and unfortunately, it did not make that long move until after we closed. We are starting to sell off now. Starting to sell off. It seems like we've been getting a move right before 8 p.m. lately. Right before 8 p.m. Oh, let's see. Yeah, now let's just wait. Let's just wait and see if we could find an opportunity. I would like to see, maybe we could get to this area to look for a long. Maybe that's it for the class. I don't know. Let's just watch gold and see if we could catch some type of reversal if we do continue a bit of a sell-off. Either that, or maybe it gets. Can we get down to 25.45 during class? I mean, it's possible. It's possible we could sell off, and then we could look for a reversal. And while we do so, let's get to some questions. Let's get to some questions. And if you guys see something on any of the other markets, like I said, I'm just going to find a trade. Whether it's this gold 8 p.m. trade, maybe we could even look at some of these other markets like an NQ break out and break up. If that's actually looking a lot more attractive to me. It is a break to the long side here in the Nasdaq. Maybe we could do that. A break to the long side. If we break above, 446, maybe we can make a run to these 50s for a 5 or 10 points. I'm liking the long side in the Nasdaq. Maybe wait for a pullback and then get in long. That is one. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Markets are pretty slow. We are getting a little bit of a pullback in the Nikkei. And then crude oil, we just talked about crude. Looking for longs in crude as well. And then go back to our regular gold. Well, let's watch gold. We'll watch gold while we answer questions. All right, let's see. I like to look at it on the 5-minute. Let's watch it from the 5-minute for a little bit. All right, let's go through it. Some of the questions, get through it. Dakota, can you explain the 3-bar reversal? Because when you say it, I only see 2 green bars. Thank you. Yeah, let's wait until. Yeah, I'll explain it in a moment. Okay. I just need to get a dang video explaining it. I explain it a lot, and I just don't want to. I want to respect everyone's time in here as much as I explain it. But I will briefly go over it one more time, sometime during class. Are you using average true range to see how much the market can run a day, up or down, Ricky? Yeah, you can use an ATR indicator, an average true range, to understand the volatility. I typically have not been using it lately because the markets have been pretty volatile for a summer. Dakota, how do you recognize the 3-bar reversal pattern or a pullback? Dakota. Okay. So, man, a lot of people are looking and asking about a 3-bar reversal. 3-bar reversal, you go up to this Google search and you type in 3-bar reversal, and then you go ahead and you could click any image, and that is a 3-bar reversal. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Whether it looks like this one's using this candle, I use this middle candle, and I use the break above that middle candle. That is a 3-bar reversal. Like, just Google it. Like, it's not special. It's not special at all. This is a good job, right? Here's the reversal bar. Ooh, that's a good one. We're going to Google for education. But yeah, this is it. Look, take a look at this. We're Googling this. There's the 3-bar reversal. We have a move down, and it might be small to you. But look, there's the reversal bar, and you buy above the break of that middle bar. I'm just saying this one. I don't get any of this. To me, it's just this. These 3 bars. 1, 2, 3. That middle bar is the reversal bar. And there's probably tons of information on here. You could go and click on image, and you could probably see different examples, people looking at it different. But there we go. This is a much better one. This is a good one. Let me get this so you guys can see. That explains it the best, okay? Where 1, 2, 3, you buy it when we close, like on this, and whether you get in as we're breaking it or you're waiting for this bar to close, but making sure that there's a down move, and then you just turn it upside down for a sell-off, right? This is the exact opposite. But yeah, feel free to go ahead and Google. The more you Google, probably the better. It's nothing new. It's not mine. I just like that pattern because it's simple. Somebody saying NQ just broke out. Did I miss it? Yeah, I missed it. That was the trade, huh? That was the trade. Did we get 5 points on that? From 46 to 53. Yeah, we would have been able to squeeze 5 points out of that. That was a 5-point banger if we would have traded that. Oh well, that was the trade. I'm not going to take the pullback. Maybe we consolidate a little bit and break out. Nothing too crazy. Let's work at gold. Gold, we have 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I like that we're selling off. That could be setting up for a good... Do we just get long on a breakout trade? That fact that we've sold off so much after hours, like that is a decent sell-off at this time. Or do we wait? Because I don't think... you never know. If we could get down to 45 during class, we might even see 45, 46 during class. Let's watch it. If we sell off, I'm going to get in long on a reversal. If we rally up, I'm going to just do what we've been planning, is wait for the initial move and then enter on a reversal. So let's do that. Wait for the initial move and then take a reversal trade. Trend down and bullish gold. Let's ask you guys. Let's see what the chat is doing. Long or short gold. And while I'm doing this poll, who's new? If you guys are new, let me know. I'm always interested if anybody is new to class. So there's the poll, long or short gold. Who is new? And let me know if you have any questions. Losing trades. Do you ever use weekly charts? I do, but I don't look at them every day. I look at it maybe once a week, not very often. When I'm day trading, I don't look at weekly charts very often at all. Tilt says short gold. People are shorting gold. Here we go. It's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Let's see a spike in volatility. Sugarland, Texas. Welcome, SA. Danny. New to futures. Welcome. New. Been watching y'all since Monday. Awesome. Great. Love. Pretty even. Shorting gold. New traders. Yeah. Also, do not be embarrassed. Do not feel shy asking any questions you want. Don't think that you have a bad question, whether you think it's the new, like what is a bid? What is a 3-bar? We just Googled what a 3-bar reversal is in the middle of a class. So there is no question that is too dumb. The only bad question is the one that's not asked. Tilt says short, we go long. Does trading open for gold at this time for certain people? Why the spike in volatility? It's the Asian session. We opened up at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. We just have markets. We've been seeing a spike in volatility at 8 p.m. It's not been a dramatic one, but it's not an open for gold specifically. I am having trouble with over trading. How do you manage your emotions trading? You need to treat it like a process, right? You just have to not care about the result. Like, and that's hard to do and it's easy to say. Just understand you do not need to care whether you're losing money or making money. You follow a system, you follow a process, you can analyze it, you could do the results and then go through that. So just like I do every single night here in gold, I don't care about making or losing money, particularly on this. It's process. The same thing every single night. It really has been. It's just getting in, getting out. How do I put my take profit? How do I do my stop losses? I'm doing 2 different scenarios and then analyzing them. And I do the same thing for my slow markets class. It's the same freaking thing. It's boring. Like, real good trading is boring. And I've been trying my best to make these classes as entertaining as possible. And sometimes it's hard when it's the same thing night in, night out. The way I analyze the market's the same. The way that I look at my entries and my stop losses are exactly the same. And hopefully you guys can see this. Nothing changes very often. The market can change. Maybe, the distance of my take profit and stop losses might change. Maybe my sizing changes. There's little tiny nuances that I do change every once in a while depending on how the markets are reacting. But the overall process is exactly the same. So it is 8:03. We haven't seen a move yet. I am liking the long side on gold again. We've had this nice sell-off. We are just consolidating. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a buy stop. Let's do that. Buy stop. If we do break to the long side, maybe we could get in there, making sure that everything is set to ticks, because we're going to analyze this in ticks, because the dollar amounts does not matter when you're analyzing a strategy in terms of like, oh, I made $10. I lost $20. It's more about ticks, because you could always change the position size. So let's watch this. Maybe we break down. I do not want to take a short on this. I would rather take a reversal if we do sell off based off the analysis on the higher time frame. I would love to see if we do sell off down towards these 2540s and look for a nice reversal trade. But until then, let's watch and let's see if we can make some magic happen. What's Nasdaq doing? Yeah, that was the trade. Ooh, we could have got in on the pullback, right? I don't know if I could classify this as a 3-bar reversal, but maybe there's an argument to get in on that 3-bar reversal. As ugly as that looks, right? We broke out. Here's a beautiful technical trade. We broke out. We came back. We tested. And now we're starting to have that continuation to the long side. And I actually have some long options that I want to see us above 19,700 on Tuesday. I have some options that are expiring this Tuesday that I do want to see Nasdaq above 700 by then, 19,700. So I'm a little bit biased, obviously. Here we go. 4 years only trading in the opposite side of the trend. How is this possible? Not sure what you mean. Not sure what you mean. Is that a question? Dakota, do you ever trade the opening 15-minute range? Don Montes, no, not really. Could you recommend a complete course on scalping futures? Does Topstep have one? Topstep does have a lot of recordings, but not an exact course. The best suggestion I have is tune into TopstepTV. There's some videos, but In terms of scalping, like pure scalping, the best trader that I know who does it on YouTube is Rips. Rips is amazing with momentum trading and getting in, getting out really quick. So I would recommend Rips. He's my trading buddy. I've watched him trade scalping, and I can't do it. I try to scalp. I'm an okay-ish scalper, but I wouldn't. I don't feel comfortable scalping enough. I don't feel comfortable enough to say I'm a good enough scalper to teach it. I could try and teach it. It's essentially just the same thing, but on a smaller time frame. Just exactly what I'm doing right now. It's exactly what I do on higher time frames. It's just the same process, smaller time frame. We're getting a sell-off. Let's see if we could get that reversal. We have 3 more minutes until, like, usually what we've been looking at, if you guys are new, 8 p.m. we see a spike, and then 10 minutes after is typically when we start to see some type of a reversal trade here. So maybe we could get a reversal here in gold. I'm going to go ahead and move this buy stop. I'm moving the buy stop to the bottom. Maybe we get a 3-bar reversal here on the 1-minute chart, right? Just trying to get a reversal. Let's see if we could get it. Not much of volatility, not a lot of volatility. The direct process. If you ask me, then 5-minute is only finding levels, entries on the 1-minute. Yeah, something like that. Storm. Okay, this would be a 3-bar reversal if we break above 2549.8. We have this candlestick, and if we do break above it, then I like that entry. Stop loss would be below there somewhere. Let's take a look at the 5-minute, see how that's looking. We're getting down. There's a lot of support in, like, closer towards these 48s that I would like to see. I would like to see these 48s first. Yeah, we're getting down there. 49s. A short would have been nice. Let's see if we could get further trade. So I don't like how this is a big candle. So this is a really big candle for a 3-bar reversal. Let's see if we could get maybe another smaller candle or consolidation down here into these 48s. A short would have been nice, right? If we're playing it for a breakdown on the short side. Okay, I like that. We finished. Let's see if this candle could finish somewhere down here, and then I could get a reversal. Let's take a look. What were we looking at the 5-minute chart? Are we getting close to that? Let's see on the hourly chart. No, we still have a little bit of ways to go if we was going to try and buy around these 46s. 46s would be beautiful, but if we don't get it, that's fine. Get down to this 1-minute chart. Let's see. Maybe we can get down to the 46s. That would be nice. You scalped for what was the poll? Oh, the poll was 51% to the short side. So it looks like shorts are playing out really well. Shorts are playing good at this level. So we are coming to 10 minutes. It's been 10 minutes. It's 8:10. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to move that is now the new entry. And let's see if we can get that reversal. 49.3. 49.3. Let's see if we could get it. Get a nice break and a reversal. Maybe we could return up to 51. All right, let's get our stop loss in. Let's get this set up. And I dare even get into another one if we get back up there. Let's go ahead. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to have a little bit of a wider stop loss until we do that. I do see this. This is what I'm looking at. There's a lot of support and resistance right here at the 47.6, 45. So I prefer my stop loss at 47.2. And then maybe we could find a way to add in and then move and tighten our stop loss once we start to, if we do start to break out and long. But I'll watch it. I would be okay with closing at the bottom of that, like 48.6 maybe isn't an optional close. If we do break up, like in fill for the second contract, immediately I'll move my stop loss there. But until then, let's just wait and watch. I'm going to go ahead and do normal stop loss minus 22 ticks. And now remember, this is how I journal. I'm just journaling on the chart here, so that way we could take a screenshot and then add that to our journal. Because to me, I like to journal, and it's a lot easier for me. A picture's worth 1,000 words, and I could do different scenarios. So normal stop loss, and then we're gonna go ahead and do like an aggressive stop loss. So let's go ahead and put that, and we could type in an then go from there. Let's set that. Okay. So one thing is possibly an aggressive stop loss right there, which would be minus 10 ticks. So maybe that is something. Let's do that. The aggressive stop loss has always been outperforming. So do we have an aggressive stop loss at that bottom? Or do we keep everything below this pivot until we start to break out? It looks like we did get whipsawed into that second contract. So yeah, I'm actually liking, I think maybe having our stop loss down there. Let's watch it and see. Let's watch it and see. Yeah, this one does not look good. I don't like this. I don't love it. I prefer us obviously not to have that whipsaw. And so the first thing I'm thinking, what would happen if our stop loss was there? We would have been stopped out for minus 10 ticks. So let's see how that played out, because that could be the most optimal play, was just a quick in and out minus 10 ticks. I mean, we are 13 minutes past 8 p.m. So let's watch it. We'll see. If not, we just take a loss in this one. David, I just want to see the historical data, not hypothetical. Not sure what you mean on that one. It broke the uptrend. You will catch this bottom. Not sure. So we are finding this as a bottom. I like that as an aggressive stop. Maybe we could even do an add here. We could do an add if we can break above that. Let's see if we can. That is looking good. We would have been stopped out if it was on a 3-bar reversal. If that was it, let's see if we would be stopped out on that one. Or if our normal stop loss down here below this support and resistance, is that going to be valid, right? Is this going to be a valid stop loss below this resistance, below this support, resistance? Or are we going to get stopped off, and the better play was to wait until we get down to these 45s on that longer term time frame that we was watching? But yeah, looking from the bull standpoint and looking for the reversal standpoint, of course, it's easy to say, playing a breakdown and getting in short as we broke down could be the better play for the current turn. But we're looking for a reversal. This is a very ugly 3-bar reversal on this one. Do you think it will reverse at a random place? It depends on what you call random, right? We were looking specifically for 10 to 11, like right around 10 minutes after 8 p.m. for a reversal. 10 minutes was right here. This was 10 minutes after 8 p.m. for the reversal. We did get triggered into 2. We are now 14 minutes after 8 p.m. And this is just hopefully not turning into another boring night. Coach, when you're making longer term trades, do you look for support or resistance on longer time frames, like an hour support and resistance if you're going to stay in a trade longer? Yes. Depending on my time frame that I'm looking to trade, it's the same thing, but I just change time frames. That's absolutely it. Yep. And after this gold trade, we're going to look for some slow markets, something that's exactly what I do. This is just for, like I said, education. We talk about getting in, getting out. So there we go. We got triggered in a third. So that, to me, is going to be our aggressive stop loss. We're going to keep this our normal stop loss, and that as our aggressive stop loss. So this is going to be 13 ticks. And now we're starting to get a breakout. Let's see if we can get a strong reversal. And the first area for a take profit could very well be right there. Let's see. So that we're going to say 15 ticks. We're going to say that for a sell limit. So right there, if we get back up there, and that's going to be first take profit plus 13 ticks. And we'll wait. I'm going to wait. Let's do that. Okay. Now let's see what we can do. Let's see if the aggressive stop loss is going to outperform the normal stop loss. So there we go. I think that's it, where we can say that that's the reversal. We tried to get in early. The aggressive stop loss probably could have been wicked out. This next one, we'll see how that one plays out and go from there. We'll see. We haven't been seeing the volatility that we normally get at 8 p.m. But we're taking that reversal trade. This is the initial move, and this is the reversal trade. So we'll see how this one plays. And now we wait. Now we wait. Any books you could recommend for patience when trading? I like The Obstacle is the Way. I always say it whenever someone asks for book recommendations is The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's probably my absolute favorite book. Coach Dakota, I need help. I'm down 2,000 on my Express account. What should I do? Maybe switch back to a practice account, size down, maybe to, instead of, maybe size down to micros, trade smaller, gain your confidence back. It's very hard to do and give you very good advice outside of that. Scaling down, switch to a practice account until you feel more confident. Don't try and make it all back, right? Process over profits. And we'll watch this one play out. Let's see. Let's see if the aggressive stop loss outperforms this normal stop loss. Here we go. So this is that plus 13 ticks, right? Plus 13 ticks on that one. So aggressive stop loss would be risk 13.13. So far. Okay, first take profit was hit. And so that one is in the book. First take profit. We do have 2 more contracts. Let's take a look. Where could this thing go to? I don't want to sit here and say that one, that one, that one, that one. Man, this thing has been selling off for quite a while. One thing that I'm actually looking at and thinking of now is, can we get through this, right? Can we break out of this? This is a strong downtrend that we've been in. That is a very strong downtrend. And maybe if we trail this, can we get up to the 2560s? Can we get up to these 2560s, maybe 2559? I'm not seeing a very solid area for take profit. Maybe this. Maybe we could get into a entry because this was showing maybe some support. So maybe we could get up to 53.9. Let's watch it and see. I'm going to say that one could be a decent area if we do start to break out and break above that. And then we could just try and trail this. And we'll see how the aggressive stop loss versus the normal stop loss plays out. And I think, to be honest, let's go ahead. To me, I would normally move my stop loss to there. To me, that is going to be a normal stop loss. So, and then we'll find an area for our regular aggressive trailing stop as a hypothetical to see if we could find something like this. I love to see this happen, where we have a pullback and then we have a continuation and a break above where we initially was, right around 51.2. So I'd love an area of a reference to move our stop loss. Maybe this can become support. This was support earlier. Maybe we can sell off. Listen to me wanting a sell-off when I'm in a long. But sometimes that's what you want. It's a healthy market. If we get a pullback and a little bit of a sell-off to 50.2 and then a reversal and a continuation, and maybe we could even see 52.2. 52.2, what would that be? That would be 27 ticks. And let's just watch it. Let's see how it plays out. I'd like to have just some good area and a reference point to move my stop loss. No, I wouldn't consider adding, not on this particular trade. This is just a simple shorter term trade scalp that I'm planning to be in and out within an hour. All right, let's see. Well, we didn't really get much of a reference. There wasn't really a reference on the pullback. However, there can be an argument. Maybe there's an argument to move the stop loss to right there. Like that could be an argument, moving the stop loss to 50.2 or even 50.5. I mean, man, but I'd still rather us, you know, I think that's going to be a good area for the aggressive stop loss. Let's move that to the aggressive stop loss at 3 ticks. 3 ticks for the aggressive stop loss. And there's the breakout. So we're going to go ahead and do that. The aggressive stop loss is now in the positive. We're not getting any pullback for a reference point. So we can't have, yeah, this is, sometimes this sucks. I don't want to say it sucks when we're rallying and we're going in our favor, but it's more difficult to, you know, move a stop loss when the market's doing this. Like it's difficult to move a stop loss when the market does this because it's hard to see area of reference points to move your stop loss. So maybe this one at plus 3 ticks, just because we had this as support, you know, this was resistance. So if we break through that, that could be valid, but nothing yet. I still would love to see something where we make a pivot and then rally so I can have a good place to move as a stop loss. One thing we could do is move down time frames, but a 1 minute time frame is good enough. Dakota, when are they going to give you a live account again? I do have a live account, and I do have my XFAs, right? My live account, here's my XFAs, and then I have my live account. I just don't trade them on stream. I mean, as of lately, because I've been very, very distractive. We're focusing on the house account, focusing on running a stream, and it's more of a personal thing for me where I'm like, why would I want to sit here and try and do that? But don't get me wrong. I did that all of the spring and going into early summer because I wanted to prove a point. And I was holding 30 lots, you know, in slow markets class, and we talked through it and all that. But I definitely started to get distracted focusing on those things and getting a house account. And so lately it's been more of, hey, I want to focus on, you know, the chat, the communication, and then focusing on the house account, rather than trading my Topstep live account. Because I have my personal live accounts, I'm doing options, I'm doing so much more outside of this, which is more important to me, is my own accounts that I do have the primary income on, than this just some live account on here. So hopefully that makes sense. And I know we always have the fun trolls that come in and say, oh, you're not trading live, so you're not great, or you're not good. What's a house account? Ooh, Danielle Williams. Tune into TopstepTV during fast markets or power hour. You just missed a really great one during this last power hour. Power hour starts at basically 2 p.m. Central, and it goes for an hour. It's a house account. It's an account at Topstep that it's traded as like kind of like a community, a group. It's not an individual person trading a single account, but it's more of a team trading. It's a live account, live real money. You see the orders, you know, come and go in through the DOM. It's real, and it's traded. And you know, yesterday we had an amazing power hour trade where we made 11,000 live. I was on stream. You know, today I was not on stream, but I was in the chat, and we had another great trade to the long side that we made, you know, $6,000-$7,000 on. So that's what it is. It's been great. And of course, it doesn't come without struggle, which is whenever you have more than 1 or 2 people, you know, trying to make a decision, it can be difficult. Trading is already hard enough as an individual, right? When one person's making the decision, it just is exponentially more difficult coming to a conclusion and reacting to a fast market when you have a committee or a group, right? I mean, look at this. This is not giving us any reference points to move in the stop loss. So what an interesting thing. We're just going up. We're just going. So let's go ahead and get out of one. I'm going to just get out of one. We're coming up. Let's see if we get out of one. Man. Will it let us get out of one? Will we? Let's see if we get out of one. Going to join. That's going to be plus 28 ticks. Let's go ahead and make that as a reference. Plus 28 ticks for a second take profit. So go ahead and get second take plus 28 ticks. So there we go. Second take profit. Let's go ahead and move everything I'm going to go ahead and move the aggressive stop loss to me now would be valid below where this this was resistance. This resistance can become support. I'm going to go ahead and move this as my aggressive trailing stop, and this will now be locked in at plus 3 ticks, so plus 13 ticks there. I'm going to go ahead and move my normal stop loss, which is a lot more loose, and we're going to do this one at plus 6. So we're going to go do plus 6 ticks on the normal stop loss, which is a bit more loose. We're going to go ahead and make sure we're keeping track of that, and we're going to see which one outperforms. Yeah, like I said, this is purely for education. Purely for education. Have you ever looked at the ATR trailing stops? Garrett, I haven't. I think I understand what you mean by that, is using an ATR as a trailing stop. The resistance was a VWAP. PW is in the North Shore right now. What do you mean, Richard? How can I get zero spread prices? I don't know what that means either. How much is a tick for gold worth? So a tick for gold on a mini is $10 per tick if you're in one mini. On a micro, it's $1 per tick. Oh, great work. Somebody's trading gold as well. So shorts worked out, but then longs also worked out, just depending on how you got in and get out of the market. I'm going to go ahead and move this aggressive trailing stop even further. We're going to lock in another 26 ticks on that aggressive trailing stop. So 26 ticks on this aggressive trailing stop. And so far, the aggressive one has been outperforming, locking in profits a lot quicker rather than, being a lot more loose to avoid any whipsaw. So, man, I'm going to get rid of that one. And let's see if we could trail this one up and out. If you're in profit, just leave one runner go. Yep, we were in 3 contracts. We hit one take profit. We hit the second take profit right there. And now we're in 1 contract, and we're letting this one as a runner. We're going to see how the aggressive trailing stop performs versus our normal trailing stop that we can, trail it and move. But, I'm actually looking like this, moving it to 13 ticks for the normal stop loss. And we'll see which one outperforms. And then we'll take note. We'll take a screenshot. And that is our journaling, right? But so far, so good. We are... How's this for a trade, right? This is nice. Yeah, I haven't learned how to do it automatically. Everything I'm doing is manually. Obviously, I'm putting my charts in manually. I'm putting I'm typing everything manually. I just haven't taken the time to go through it. But Coach Robert has some awesome stuff. If you go over here into I believe the support center, look at all these 5-minute tutorials on how to do everything. Let's go through, and you could go through and see all of this. This is a great place to do it and look for any of your questions here in TopstepX. So I love this. Live chat. Oh, that's interesting. So there's a lot of great stuff here. Back to the charts, back to the markets. Let's see. Are we going to break out and continue? Are we going to break this and continue the longs? I'm still confused why it's reversing without testing support. Anything can happen, and I was just looking for a reversal. I was letting the market tell me when it wanted to reverse, and the market said, well, I'm reversing, and I'm trying to reverse here. Failed. Tried to say, we're going to reverse here. It started to work out. The market does not have to get to a support or resistance level to reverse. That's it. Smoke to trades. Dakota, you've been helping me hold my trades longer. Well, hopefully that was a good thing. That I do hope that it helps. I do like when traders are, holding your trades longer than just getting in and out really quick. Typically, the more consistent and successful traders hold their trades longer than the average. So here we are. We're going up to these 52 sevens. I do not use VWAP. Ricky, what's my longest trade? Here at Topstep, my longest trade was slow markets trade. We'll go over some slow markets trades tonight. It's where I put orders in tonight, and then I'll let them run through and run into tomorrow and during the New York session and just go from there. But look at us continuing to rally. Finding some resistance. We're seeing more volatility come in. Look at this volatility. It's 30 minutes past 8:31. And we're seeing more volatility. And here we go. Let's Look at this thing run. Man. Yeah, and this is a good example. If you are having a difficult time holding trades, trailing it. I do like moving this. Let's go ahead and move this. We're going to lock into 25 ticks. 25 ticks. Let's go ahead. It's 25 ticks. Let's go ahead, lock that in. And I think that's going to be it. 25 ticks for the normal stop loss. 25 ticks, and the aggressive stop loss, we'll find another area to move. So normal stop loss, 25 ticks, and we'll see an area to move our aggressive stop loss. So far, the aggressive is going to be right where it was at as well. So I'm going to make another line for the aggressive one, just for points of reference. We're holding that area where we held, 51.8. We didn't get stopped out. Looked like it was going to do that for a moment. But here we go. Lewis, yeah, we'll review after this gold trade. Once this gold trade's finished, we'll review the Nasdaq. If you guys have more questions on the Nasdaq, the aggressive trailing stop was hit. Let's see, the aggressive trailing stop, it was right here. Okay, I could see that being hit. So the aggressive trailing stop was hit right there, it looks like. So aggressive trailing stop hit plus 26 ticks. Yeah, I could see that because I think it was below this candle. And so yes, that would have been hit. Good catch. And now the normal stop loss is outperforming tonight. Why am I using the 1 minute and not the 100 tick chart? I mean, you could. I mean, it's just what I was on, right? You could also use the 100 tick chart if you wanted to. But I've been doing and trading this on the 1 minute chart for no reason at all. It's just I started on the 1 minute and I've stayed on the 1 minute for consistency's sake. That's all, Winston. I had it at 519. Okay, well that makes sense. Then it was this aggressive one was stopped out. The normal one is still in it. So let's see. We got that consolidation. We got kind of that pullback, and now this is a really good reference for a stop loss. So I like that. This is kind of what I was wanting to see. I love it a little more consistent, right? Where we have a pullback and then we have a break and continuation, but it's never clean, right? The market's never clean. It never does exactly what you want. But yet it's really ugly looking. It's still working out good. Why not have volume and range charts up too? Stas, it's because I don't like a lot of stuff on my screen. For me and the way that I view things, it's just very simple. The simpler I can make my trading, the better. I'm not saying that volume or range charts are good or bad. It's just particular for me. The less is more. The less I have to look at, the less I have to think about, the better it is for me in the long run. So yeah, maybe the aggressive stop loss is still going to outperform by 1 tick. If we get stopped out by the normal stop loss, then yeah, the aggressive stop loss just happened to outperform by 1 freaking tick. That's still, I mean, 1 tick is 1 tick. An outperformance, it doesn't matter whether it comes into a bunch or a little bit. 1 tick is a lot in the long run. 3-bar reversal on the NQ. Yeah, let's finish this and we'll move on to the other markets. We'll see if there's a slow markets trade set up tonight. We could all do it. We could all watch it, do it as a education. So yep, that's out. We are out. That is it. Yeah, $640 on this trade. Let's go ahead. We need to mark our entries. This was our first entry, right? So, and then this was our second one. So these are our entries here. We need to make sure we mark them out so that when we do take our screenshot, we're going to go ahead and say, this was our third entry actually. So third entry, and then we'll go ahead and put our first and second entries. And that was it. First and second entries, just don't mind this ugliness. There we go, third entry. And, there is a possibility, yeah, you know what? I just want to keep my stop loss down here and let this one run overnight to see if we can make it up to these 60s or higher. I mean, that's very logical, right? If you happen to get into a good position, you just move your stop loss, you keep your stop loss, say here, and you say, you know what, maybe tonight I think that the market could rally up to these 60s and beyond. And maybe we come up and we start to break these 60s and we go to new highs, and I let this trade run overnight and even into tomorrow. Like, that is something. But if, for tonight, it's more of a scalp and a single trade. So let me go through and get this, make that look a little bit better, making it look good. So we could go ahead and do that as a screenshot, download it, and we'll put this in as a journal for tonight. So go ahead and we'll add this as a journal, screenshot, do that, save the journal. You know what I think I'm going to do? So this is, let me know your guys's. I'm pretty sure you guys, I know your answer, everybody in the chat's answer. I'm going to keep this one for my slow markets class only. So I'm going to try, and I'm going to see about getting another combine. And instead of just resetting it, because I trade this coach's account, which is just a practice account, during the New York session, during whenever, and I play around with it. So I haven't really cared what happens. So I just reset it whenever, so that way I can trade it during the New York session. What I'm going to do is keep this account only for slow markets trades. So I think I'm going to do that. And I'm going to go in here and say edit, and I'm just simply going to say slow markets. Does that work? Yeah, I think that's going to go. So this will be my slow markets account only. And then I'm going to see about having another one that I could play around and reset as just a practice account. And that way we could keep our journals. We could go through, we could review these statistics that we're doing our gold trade on. This was our overnight trade. This was the Nikkei trade that we made $1,000 on. Our overnight trade last night, $700. And then our gold trade tonight, $600. So I think I'm going to do that going forward. So that way we could review these statistics. Look at this, average trade duration, 80 minutes. Risk reward, 5-1. And then, I mean, obviously, this is not very accurate just because I have 3 days worth of data. But risk reward is always more important to me than the trade win percentage, because I love the risk reward. It doesn't mean I don't go for trade win percentage, but to me, trade win percentage is like 30%. Risk reward around 3 to 4, which is more realistic. So I'm going to keep this one open. I've labeled this slow markets only. Guys, keep me accountable. Hold it to me. 295857. That's my slow market. I'll see about getting another one for the new one. Steve Hollywood, what happened to my live account? It's still here. This is not a live account login. So you're right. See, I have my login, I have my live account, and then I have my combines and XFAs. And since this is a class, I'll look at the see. That's what I was looking for. Dang it. Yeah, I mean, there's an excuse. Maybe you don't, you let a runner go, right? This is the pullback, and now that is the continuation. So that was the pullback. I was maybe being a little bit too aggressive with my stop losses. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. We live and learn, right? That was a pullback. That was that pullback, and now we're getting that continuation. Anyway, moving on. The Nasdaq. Take a look at this. That was, we got to pull back on the Nasdaq. We're rallying back up. It's just been finding opportunities to buy. That would have been a good buying opportunity. But let's look at this. Traders are asking me, let's talk about the power hour trade first, because a lot of questions came for why did we enter the trade during power hour? We had the one from yesterday. It worked out good. The house account made 11,000. Today, it was another great one where the house account made some great money as well. So today, this is the New York session. We had this huge rally. Everybody's seen it. Everybody was looking at it. We had this huge rally. Then we got this nice pullback. It was very big. It was very dramatic, obviously, in perspective. However, it was still higher, right? This pullback was still higher. We pulled back. We were at this, this is an interesting level that can, be support, right? It was support throughout this. It was also came support, throughout the overnight session at the start of the London. And we are in a downtrend currently on that point during power hour, right? We're entering power hour on a downtrend. Like this is a sell-off. So what I was looking for was a 3-bar reversal. So everyone seen it. I Googled it. 3-bar reversal on a 5-minute chart was this. So I'm going to mark this out very clear. And so that way we could go through it. I like to trade with 2 charts during the New York session. I'm going to mark this. That to me was the reversal bar. I'm labeling this. It's the reversal bar that I consider. So we're in a downtrend and we got the reversal bar. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I was looking at. I had 2 charts open. I have the 5-minute and then I have the 100 tick chart. So where is that 100 tick chart? It is right there. So let's replay this and I'm going to go through you guys in detail step by step because you guys want to know exactly what I was looking at, and that's fair for you. It's fair. So there it is. That is what I was looking at. The 3-bar reversal happened. It's my chart saying 1245, and then here is that 1245. That to me is the reversal candle. Reversal candle came in right there. So right at 1245 was the close. And when I was watching this, I seen that we had some gaps. There was a lot of resistance there. Okay. And so there was a lot of resistance right here at 394, 395. Sure enough, the candle closed on the 5-minute there. We ran up, we tested it. It looked like we was going to break, but look, it became resistance. Once again, it became resistance. And so we sold all the way back down. We sold all the way down to basically 350. As you can see, it was 350 on this candle, this very next candle, and then immediately rallied all the way back up. And this was the trigger. So this is what triggered me in. And I was going for 20 ticks, 20 points. We got triggered in at like 395. Got, go ahead, and it didn't go up too much, and then immediately sold off. And we didn't break the low, right? We didn't break this. We did not. Let me make sure I got the right levels. Yeah, that was the bottom of the candle. And then immediately rallied all the way back up. We got up to, what was it, 430. And then we kind of chopped around. So this was right before power hour. Okay, this was right before power hour. And then once power hour started, I'm going to go through and I'm going to show you it again. The same thing happened. So we sold off. We were in a downtrend. And then there was another 3-bar reversal on the 5-minute chart right there. As you guys could see it, this was another. I called this the reversal candle. So I'm going to just go ahead and put another line on there. And that was it. So let's get to that one more time. So here it is on the 100 tick chart. There we are. So right there, that was the candle. Let me see. That's the start of the candle. And then where was the end of it? Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure I'm getting my references straight, making sure everything's looking accurate. So that is the candle. Oh, come on. Okay, so there it is. So for me, the 3-bar reversal happened again during power hour. And this is what I was mentioning in the chat, was right around 386. 386 was technically was right here, okay? However, this is why I love the 100 tick chart. Even though the confirmed 3-bar reversal would be above that, right? That's this candle right there. If we highlight it and make it, see that little square, the one little tiny thing I made right there? A break above that was a confirmed 3-bar reversal. However, over here on the 100 tick chart on my right, what I was looking for, I was being preemptive. I was being more aggressive, right? We've seen a lot of support that came in right here at 368 to 370. And sure enough, there's a lot more support that we've seen coming in right at there. And so I loved the fact that, we can see a breakout. And I was saying this in the YouTube chat, was saying, if we break above 370, then I like the longs. I want to get in long, being preemptive, like being more aggressive, saying, okay, if we break above 370, I'm going to look for us to actually confirm the 3-bar reversal. So getting in early. So I was getting in really, really early. Even though my setup was a 3-bar reversal, I wanted to get in early and I wanted to build a position. So it's like my first entry could be a break above 370, which I did. I did get in at 370. And, unfortunately, right, we're looking for it and, got in 370. Boom, we broke above that. Then I added at 380s. So I added at 380s. And then I was, as in the chat, I was like, okay, well, let's take a look. 307. Let's see if we could break above 307 back to what we was looking at earlier, right? In this original 3-bar reversal. So if we go back and say, if we could break back above 307, this was that high. This was the high of the, where was it? 307 right there. So if we broke back above this, I mean, there's a lot of resistance. Let's add. We could get in long, just try and buy it, looking for an overall break and a run back up to 460. And, sure enough, we went ahead, we broke out, we tested it, we came through, we broke through 307. And sure enough, there was a few more opportunities that, if you did miss out or if you still think it was valid to get in. And also on top of this, as all of this was happening, this was looking as bullish as it gets. Like, this is extremely bullish, right? Now we're seeing a level of resistance over here on the 100 tick chart, right? 1 resistance, 2, 3. And on top of that, we had a higher low, right? We had a higher low, which, support, higher low, pivot, and another resistance. We broke through that. We smashed through it. And then sure enough, support became resistance again. We came down, we tested it, and then it broke above, 407 again. So there was a few opportunities, and just like the gold trade was, we were making these higher lows, and you guys seen and heard Hogue during Power Hour, like, hey, can we move our stop loss? Let's move our stop loss. I'm going to clear this out just a little bit. So, if this was our stop loss originally, just like in gold, very valid, moving your stop loss to the pivot, maybe moving your stop loss to the next pivot, and looking for a break up, which we ended up getting. And now the next question I got quite often was, why 460? Why was we looking for 460? Well, if we zoom in, I'm going to show you on this 100 tick chart, or maybe I'll show you on the 1 minute, and I'll show you what it looks like on the 100 tick chart as well. So why 460 was, let's go. I'm going to zoom in, make sure we were during the Power Hour. This was the Power Hour session. The reason why I was looking at 460 is because on the way down during Power Hour, this was a sell-off, we found support. There was a lot of support right there, right at around 460. Now it's a zone, it's not an exact level. And so as we were buying down here and breaking back up above 400, then yes, a break and a break above 460, right? This was support. Support can become resistance. Sure enough, it did. I mean, not very often does that happen all the time, but it does. It can happen. And then looking at it from a 100 tick chart, if we were looking at the 460 level during Power Hour, you could see, right? It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Looking for this to become resistance again. And that's all it was. Trying to keep things as simple as possible. And it worked out. It worked out pretty well. Like I said, whenever you place a trade, it's never 100%. There's always a chance. And I think that's it. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next. Yeah, there's Hogue. Buy more. Just find areas to buy it, and you'll be happy. I'm actually bullish going into tonight. We have data coming out in the morning, but let's take a look at this. I think there's a good setup tonight. We do have a lot of resistance that we made on August 28th. Resistance. And sure enough, resistance became the support zone. And look at this. This very well can be a wedge pattern. You could say that this is a resistance zone. Very similar to last night. We are making, a nice resistance zone, a nice key area. So if we go back to last night, this is kind of what we were looking at as well when we were looking at a break up and a break above. So I think a similar play to last night could be very valid. So what I would like to do, now remember, Topstep risk disclosure as always. This is not a signals class. This is for educational purposes only. And this is purely just like a teacher would say, follow along while we're doing a math problem. Follow along. Do it in a practice account. Do it in a demo account. So that way you could get used to the very basics of how do you enter a trade? How do you put a stop loss to take profit? So for me, I would love to get in as we start to break out. And if I'm looking for a breakout trade, it would be a break above this resistance. And then looking for a stop loss. So let's just say we can get in using a buy stop. So a buy stop, let's go up, like say, man, this is always the hard part, right? Where exactly do we put our buy stop? Do we put it above 67? Do we put it above 60? Do we put it above 52? I mean, it's really up to you. Let's just put it above, let's do a nice round number, and let's just do 65. So let's do a buy stop at 465. And the first thing I'm looking at is a stop loss. When we get in, where would be a reasonable stop loss? So, of course, all the way down here seems like it's the most safest, but then the risk reward is just not there, right? Do we really want to risk 130 points? That's for a micro. No, 130 points for a micro is $260. And then where would our take profits be? Well, if we do start to break out and rally, the first thing I'm seeing is, do we see 600? I do see at least 536, 536 being the first area that I do see. There's some support there. There's the most recent one. So maybe we could see 550. Let's just say 550 as an example. So for this, no, that's upside down risk reward. I don't like it. So, can we adjust our entry? No, to me, that's the entry. That's the one that's valid. Can we extend our take profit? I'm like, we could, but then that's not very realistic going for so much. We're already going to be looking for about 90 points, 95 points on this, which is, fair, reasonable. It's not too big of an ask. But then for a stop loss, I think maybe tightening up our stop loss would be more realistic. So maybe having a stop loss at 390 could be more realistic because we do have at least a pivot there. Maybe there's an argument to be made. I don't know. I just don't like risking that much. And this is looking more of a 1-to-1 risk reward. We'd be risking about, 70 points. So we're risking, let's do that. Let me do that math. 75. We'll be risking 75 points to make 95. So that's about the right risk reward for me. And the question is, how much do we want to risk? Well, I like to risk between $300 and $400, and that's unrealistic on a mini. So what I want to do is drop to a micro. Micros are a lot better, and we could scale in. So we're going to go to micros, which is an MNQ, and we could set the same exact trade up and risk less, right? So let's go ahead and we're going to do a buy stop at 65. Now remember, this is purely an example. So a buy stop at 65, and we are going to assume our stop loss is going to be at 90. So, 390. Our take profit is going to be 550. So there's 550. And then we do the math, right? So our risk is going to be about 75 points. So let's take a look at the risk. So if our entry is 465, our stop loss is 390, we're going to be risking 75 points. And we do know on micros, it's $2 per point. So we'd be risking $150 per micro, which means we can get into 2 micros. That would be risking $300, or 4 micros, which would be about 450, or 3 micros, right? Yeah, 3 micros. So I think 3 micros would be a lot better. Let's go ahead and do 3 micros. So based off this, we'd be risking 450. And so our risk is 450. Let's go ahead and do that in these settings, which is over here. Settings, risk, 450. Click on save. We'll go back to the chart, and we will take a look and say, okay, where would the take profit be? We said 550. So 550, and we could do that math just really quick. So we'll go 465 minus 550. So 85 points times 3. So let's make sure I'm doing this right. 85 points times $2 per point, then times 3. So our reward is only going to be about 510. 510. Let me make sure I did that right. There we go. So risk 450, reward 510 for this perfect example. So our risk reward is still good. It's positive. I like to be around 1-to-1 or better on breakout trades. So risk 450, profit 510. Save it. Go ahead, go back to the chart. Want to make sure everything's set up good. I'm going to clear everything. Make sure I set that in okay. And, oh, I want to be exactly at 65. So 65. Okay, that's close. Come on. Good enough. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do 3. So there we go. There is the trade. So what this is saying is the market could go down. I won't be triggered in the trade. The market goes sideways. I won't be triggered in. I will only be triggered in if the market goes up and touches my entry. And then I will be triggered in. My stop loss will be activated at what was ever the risk was, like 450 points low, or $450 lower, which is going to be right here at 390. And then take profit would then be activated at around 550, at 550. And from there, once it's activated, it's either going to go up, hit my take profit, go down, hit my stop loss. So those are the scenarios for tonight. We will review this. Maybe we'll review this during tomorrow. If not, we'll review it the next day. So it is Thursday. Time goes by really fast. Monday is a holiday. There will not be trading. I'm not going to be having a class on Sunday night. It will be Monday night. It will be the next time we have slow markets. And it will be the same, right? We do have Nick for Tick, which he does his Sunday afternoons. We do have the amazing Coach Jay. He wasn't able to join us last night, but we will get him on for next Wednesday. And then we have Nick for a Tick joining me next Tuesday as well. So that, and then always keep in mind a daily loss limit is very, very important. If you haven't added one, let's go ahead and put one on here on the daily loss limit. To be honest, daily on this account on my slow markets, I know, even though we could have it at 3,000, I'm going to go ahead and keep it at 2,000. 2,000 for this account that we are doing. So daily loss limit 2,000. Don't need to risk the full 3,000. You guys, I strongly and highly recommend putting your own on that, and we'll see where it goes tomorrow. Man, it's already 3 minutes. We didn't have time for any trader statistics. Topstep's doing trader statistics during the day show, and if you guys want, there is a link that you guys could go through and apply and post your statistics there. And then if you want to join Topstep, maybe you could get on. I was making that recommendation to see if I could get maybe one of you guys on to one of these days on my slow markets class. That would be fun. If I could get somebody in here and join the forums. Hello, Dakota. I'm funded on 4 accounts, but afraid to trade. I feel I don't have clear strategy. I won't be consistent. Do you have a tip? What I should search, like ICT? I have the experience. Mohammed, if you are funded in 4 accounts, but you're afraid to trade, trade smaller. Trade what got you to the funded account. Trade small, trade micros maybe until you've gained that confidence. If you got funded, just trade exactly what got you funded, but maybe just trade on the smaller size until you gain that confidence. There's nothing to be afraid of. What's the worst thing that happen? You lose money, right? I mean, yeah, you can't be emotionally connected to money like that. That's hard, and we always see it. Then Dakota, look at support lines on daily. Yeah, let's take a look at that real quick before we end. Let's look at the Topstep daily levels. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, look at this. We do have 2 daily levels right before my take profit. My take profit was at 550. So that is something to consider. Let's see how it plays out tomorrow. We have yesterday's high, Topstep levels, yesterday's high, Topstep levels, last week's low. Let's just see how these things play out. I'm always interested in watching these Topstep daily levels. What's gold doing? Did gold start to rally? No, gold's just completely sold off. Wow. Yeah, gold completely sold off from where we got out. So glad we got out and took profits where we did. Wow, that was interesting. Yeah, that's definitely interesting. All right, guys. Take care. I will be on TopstepTV tomorrow morning during fast markets. Me, Coach Jay, Hogue, and team. We're going to see if we could get some great house account trades on. So until then, I will see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. If not, it will be Monday night for slow markets. Until then, take care.